Hello students, welcome to this new video on metal forming. In this video we are going to learn about the manufacturing processes, the next part of casting and forging. Already we have studied through this video lecture series. In short, I'm going to explain you in brief, because as a first year engineering student an introduction is only necessary. You are going to learn these things in detail as far as your syllabus is considered. So what is metal forming? Metal forming is nothing but a manufacturing process in which you just see here, it hasn't written here, I'm just highlighting it, in which the material is deformed or material is given certain kind of shape such that its plastic deformation takes place. It cannot regain its original shape and size again. That is the plasticity property of any material. Okay, now this can be used with the help of the tools which are used for this deformation are known as die, punch, depending on the type of process. Plastic deformation, that already I have told you, it is nothing but the size and shape which is given to any kind of material so that it cannot regain its original shape and size, that is beyond the ill strength of that material. That is nothing but the plastic deformation. That is the basis, or that is the basic, you can say, fundamental thing as far as forming operation. This forming means giving any kind of such a shape and size to the component so that it will take that kind of nature by having the plastic deformation of it. These are the general classification, that how the metal forming can be classified. Just try to see this particular diagram. Nobody will ask you so much of details about this one. So here we are having the bulk deformation and sheet metal working. Here in this case we are talking about sheet metal working, and this bulk deformations already in this case forging process already we have seen. It is nothing but a forming process actually, in which the plastic deformation of that particular material, that is red hot billet, is done with the help of certain kind of forces from the punch which is available as far as forged press is considered. Rolling, whatever the pipe like structures which are formed as far as like galvanized iron pipes and all that things, that can be formed with the help of this rolling process, which is again a forming process. Extrusion, wire which can copper wires, the mild steel wires which are used in various applications of agricultural, industrial, that can be formed with the help of extrusion process. As well as here there are wire and bar drawing. This is again the another one in which the small sized wires can be formed. In this extrusion process, actually such a kind of extruded parts which are having the I sections, which are having the C sections, okay, like this kind of sections which are possible one, it will be going in this way like this. Just the electric poles, whatever the old electric poles which are of this kind, that is the extrusion process. Or you can say the tracks of our aluminum, whatever the windows of any kind of through 2-tack 3-tack windows, that is the extrusion part. Okay, wire and bars, whenever it comes to wire and bars, it is also the extrusion one, but it is also known as drawing process actually. It's just like extrusion, but having a different term due to this, it's some certain differences. That is the drawing. In case of sheet metal working, we are having the bending operations, deep drawing, shearing processes, and the other embossing and coining, that kind of processes that will be observing in short. So rolling, such a kind of rolling, that is the forming operation. These are the two rollers which are rotating in opposite directions, and a workpiece will be paid between these two rollers so that it will be converted to the required shape and size. Yeah, this is moving through a certain kind of velocity, and the forces are applied from both these rollers so that the required shape and size of this raw material can be obtained through this rolling process. Forging, already we have studied in open case, open die forging, closed die forging, hand forging, or the machine forging also. Okay, this is the extrusion and wire drawing. That is the only difference as far as extrusion and wire drawing process. Whatever the workpiece which is available one here, which is having the somewhat higher dimensions as compared to the workpiece which is available here, and depending on the requirement here, wire drawing is having the less dimensions of shape and size. Length may be the same kind of similarity, but the cross-sectional dimensions are different, the shape may be different, it may be square, it may be rectangular, or it may be circular one in these extrusion cases, or it may be trapezoidal one, it may be any kind of surface like this one also, that already I have told you, like this one it may be like this, that is the cross section which is available one, as far as this extrusion process is considered one. Okay, and in these case this will go on this side like this way actually, this will also go, this will also go, that is the extrusion process. Okay, so this will go, this will go along this one, this will go along this one, so like this it is going, that is the part. So try to remember this one, that these are the certain kind of forming processes. These are again the same thing which I have explained it here in this slide, so I will not go into the deep and that particular matter. Uh, Basic forming operation which is associated with the sheet metal. Sheet metal is nothing but actually three-dimensional, you can say, a structure which is having a certain length, width, and a negligible thickness. It is in terms of gauges actually, and not negligible you can say, but having a certain kind of thickness so that the forces can be just stand by it depending on the requirement. So this is the first process, which is the bending process, that which is coming under the sheet metal forming. That is, sheets are given certain kind of shapes and sizes as per the requirements. So sheet metal forming involves cutting operations which are performed on metal sheets, which are performed on metal strips and coils. Okay, the surface area to volume ratio of the starting material is relatively high. Whatever the tools which are used by are nothing but what? The punches, the dies as per the requirement of the final shape and size of the product. This particular sheets can be converted. Now in case of bending, if you see this particular figure, this is the sheet which is in two dimension. You just observe it. So earlier one, it is flat like this one. Whenever the force as well as with some particular velocity, this punch will be coming in downward direction. It is having the same kind of shape like this one. Okay, it's having the same kind of shape like this one. Then and then it will be, and the die is also having the same kind of shape. Then and then this will be converted, workpiece will be converted into the required bend which is available one for that particular sheet metal. That is known as sheet metal blank. Okay, this is known as sheet metal blank. That is the bending process. In case of drawing or deep drawing, this sheet metal blank is converted into such a kind of material, such a kind of, you can say, final product like this one. This is the final product like this one, which is just like our utensils in our houses or whatever. Here this is nothing but the whatever roof structures, whatever you're observing, that is nothing but the example of bending. In case of utensils which are nothing but a glass, steel, stainless steel glass or stainless steel containers that are manufactured with the help of this deep drawing operation. So whatever this workpiece material, that may be generally such a kind of material which can withstand the forces which are applied by this punch as well as the whatever the opposite forces which can be available at the interface of this punch and die. That work material should withstand that one. Now in these case here, in case of bending, there is no requirement of this blank holder, that is the work sheet metal blank. But in case of forming a drawing process, it will be required one, so that slowly this sheet may be coming or taking the shape of this. There's the same kind of shape which is available for the punch, so that it will not get any kind of wrinkles here at this particular junction, and the material should be deeply drawn. It is also known as drawing or deep drawing. If this depth is higher, it is deep drawing. If depth is having a certain kind of such a kind of, you can say, limitation, then it is only a plain drawing. That is the only thing. Application already I have told you, and this is nothing but the simple shearing operation, so that these two parts can be cut into two, you can say, separate, you can say, materials. So at this particular edge, this is a die which is having a sharp edge at this particular corner, and this is a punch which is also having a sharp edge, so that, and there is a slight gap between this and this, so that there is a shearing action takes place. And here like this one, whenever the force will be applied on this particular punch, so that this workpiece or the sheet metal blank can be converted into two parts. So that is the shearing operation, which is these are all nothing but which operation? Sheet metal forming. or they are also sheet metal forming operations. But the shearing operation is not sheet metal forming, because it is no doubt about it, here directly the shearing takes place, there is no deformation takes place here. So that is the basic difference. Sheet metal operations, but having these two: sheet metal forming operations, and this is sheet metal cutting, or you can say shearing operation actually, which will come in cutting, because there is a conversion of two parts. But here that is due to any kind of shearing action which is taking place at this particular junction. Uh, so that is the thing. Extrusion, we are not having this kind of syllabus, as far as your syllabus, this is in detail. But still, for the extrusion purpose, this ram is responsible for moving this kind of material, which is the work billet. Now this work billet is having a certain surface as well as the container walls. This billet is forced to slide towards the die. This is the die opening, and it is having certain kind of harder material which is available here, so that whenever this billet will be forced through this one, it will be converted into smaller cross section, as per the required cross sectional area, so that it will be forced. This will be pushed, as well as this will be pulled, that is due to the tensile force which is acting here. Whenever it is coming out through this particular die opening, then it will take the required shape and size as per the cross sectional requirement, and the extrusions can be made as per the required shape and size. These are the two examples: direct extrusion, this is the direct extrusion example, and this is the indirect extrusion example. But we are not going to details of this one, because this is not in your syllabus. The die materials already I have told you. For tool and alloy steels, these are important one. For cold extrusion, these tool steels and cemented carbides. The very important thing is that the die materials are of high wear resistance and high thermal conductivity, because the heating process, which is the hot extrusion, is there. The raw material, which is this particular billet, will be heated. But in this case, cold extrusion, in some cases there is not any necessary requirement of heating of this particular work billets. So in that case, the steel and cemented carbide are used, which, when the high production rates are required, long die life is required, and good dimensional controls are expected. So cemented carbides, these are important one, very important one in cold extrusion process. Wire or rod or bar drawing, the same kind of thing is there. This is the drawing die. Again, the same thing, kind of things, the carbide inserts, or you can say carbide, cemented carbide, you can say edges which are available one here, or the die is having that kind of material over this particular surface, so that whenever this raw material, or which is also known as the stock material for the wire, for the rod, or for the bar, will be paid, having certain kind of raw dimensions, and finally it will be pulled out. This is a single pull only. After that one, the second pull will be there, the third pull will be there. Like this way, the wire formation, or maybe specifically for wire, this will be done, and for rod as well as for bar, because dimensions are higher one. Okay, dimensions are higher in this case, so it is just like our extrusion process. So that is very important one. Here, this is the drawing equipment, drawing a bar from a bench. So like this one, for the bar, if it is of smaller dimension, or if it is a rod, if it is of smaller dimension, just like more than wire but not very bigger, then in that case it will be again passed through these drums which hold the multiple loops of wires. This is continuously rotated, and it will be fed to the different dies. This is lubricant box actually, and this is the drawing die, passing through the second die, then coming out through to this capstan drum. Again it will be rotated, and it will be passing through the next die, so that gradually its cross sectional and the dimension will be reduced by, and finally ultimately it will be stored or rolled on a particular, you can say, rounded, you can say, container for the final use. So that is the only thing. Tube drawing, this is not in our syllabus, so we will just keep rolling, we will just skip. These are the cross sections, whatever I have talked about: circular, square. This is this square again, this is the I section, this is the used for railway rails, These are the coils which can be converted into such a kind of pipes, or these are the plates, bars and rods that can be formed. These are the materials which can be manufactured and used for the various applications like rail and rail tracks. Then these are some of the things which are used for bridges, boilers, shipbuilding. So these are the products which are useful one. Sheet metal forming operations, this already we have studied. I'm not going to the details of this one. That is the bending operation that already we have studied here in this case. This is the bending operation. Okay, and this is the same kind of thing is available here, that is the V bending operation. So these are the operations, that is edge bending, V bending and shearing, that already we have seen. uh, this is the deep drawing operation, earlier one. This is the die, this is the punch which is available one. This is the punch, and this is the, one minute, this is the, you can say, strips or holders, and this is the uh, sheet metal blank. And the gradual process of whenever the this punch will be forced down in downward direction, which is in contact with this work sheet metal blank, then gradually here there is plastic deformation takes place at this particular location, and the required shape will be given to this particular sheet metal which is available here, and slowly it is coming in downward direction through this die which is having the opening like this one. Whenever this height is higher, it will be deep drawing, or a depth is higher, you can say, not height, this depth is suppose higher, then it will be a deep drawing. If it is having certain kind of such a limitation here up to this one only, then it will be a regular drawing process only. So try to remember one, this there are certain rules and regulations for this one. Here I am just randomly telling you that if it is up to this one it is drawing, and if it is totally this and more than this one it is deep drawing. Okay. So drawing without the blank holder, that can be also possible one. Here no blank holder is available one, but the chances of wrinkle formation will be more in this case, and therefore generally such a kind of blank holder with certain kind of forces which are available one, with therefore certain kind of strips which are attached to that one. So that is advisable to use that one. Sheet metal bending, already I have told you about this particular thing, that is V bending and edge bending. In case of V bending, actually here we are having whenever the bending takes place here, whatever the fibers which are available here, that will be in compression, and this will be in tension. So for that purpose actually there may be another effect that is known as spring back effect like this one. So the spring back effect, if you see here, whenever the force will be acting here, it will be coming here and again try to going back to its original state. So in this case here, see, this is the zone which is the elastic zone. Here it will try along the neutral axis. Zone deformed plastically because of compression. So here the compression, and here zone deformed plastically because of tension, that already I have told you here in this case. This is in tension and this is in compression actually. And here whenever the same thing is available here, so this spring back effect is generally observed in case of this bending operation. And so that the important thing is that whatever the bend angle which is available here, that should be properly selected as far as this bending of die is considered one, like this one. Suppose this is the bending punch here in this case, where I just this is other bending operation that just try to see here. So whatever this bending angle will be there, that will be properly selected as far as to avoid the spring back effect that is considered one. We will not know the details of this one, but if required we can have a discussion of it in our lectures, okay, during the lectures in detail. This is the actual operation which is available over here. So this is the bending operation which you can observe here. This is the bending operation. The another here another operations are blanking operation. Then the hemming operation is also there, like this one. If you see this like this, such a kind of structures are available. One string flanging is available one. So such a but they are not actually in this particular syllabus. So here these are the operations which are nothing but the sheet metal forming operation. So we will right now stop here, and we'll be coming again with a new video. I'll be coming again with a new video on sheet metal cutting operations. Okay, very soon. Thank you very much.